Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for Coastal Connections. I am Ashley Smith, and it is time to talk about summer events already. I can't believe it. Where is the year gone? But this is one of my favorites. I'm sure it's one of yours too. We're talking about Harborfest. 13 News Now always gets so excited around Harborfest time. So I am very thrilled to have Mr. Ted Baruti here from Fest Events joining us today to talk all about Harborfest. Big weekend happening in 3 weeks, Ted.
Yeah, we're thrilled to be here as well. I'm thrilled to talk about it. Hard to believe it's already time for summer.
I don't understand. 2019 is just doing this. I don't get it, but it's Harborfest, so I'm okay with that. It's so much fun. What's new this year, especially for those that have gone a number of years in the past? What can they expect differently for this year?
No, we have really shaken things up this year. But let me say that all of the great traditions are coming back. So if you love the fireworks show, if you love the parade of sail, some of the water events, the pirates, the mermaids, all of that's coming back. But we've really shaken things up this year.
Okay.
Instead of just traditional bands, we're bringing in a DJ from London that'll perform Friday night, June 7th. With that, we've added all these lights, lasers. The whole downtown is going to be pulsating with this DJ and with that type of energy and vibe. As part of that, Light Up the Night theme, we've added a drone show. So we'll have 60 drones choreographed over the Elizabeth River, almost like a fireworks show, performing different characters such as a mermaid and all choreographed to music. With a little patriotic feel and also a maritime feel.
That's a really different vibe from the traditional Harborfest of years past, right? Like, how has the whole planning been for that and just the big change this year?
It's been fun because it's been, again, Harborfest always had a lot of new music and new bands and new ships to visit. But we've just gotten a little bit younger, fresher. Again, there's still great traditions there for all ages and for all types of families. But especially the nighttime is really going to feel a lot more alive. Even some of the music that you'll see, you might see more at a national music festival like a Coachella or Bonnaroo that you see across the country.
Or something in the water.
Or something in the water. So just have a new energy to it.
I love that. And I want to go back to Parade of Sail because 13 News Now always broadcasts for the noon show during Parade of Sail. And for those that haven't gotten to experience that in years past, tell them about Parade of Sail and just how awesome that is to be happening in the city of Norfolk.
No, I know it is one of the most unique experiences if you haven't seen it. All of these ships, hundreds of ships, and it could be something as large as like a United States Navy DGG to a tall ship to just a personal watercraft. They're all coming together in one maritime community. It's Friday, June 7th. It'll hit Town Point Park about noon and it kicks off the whole weekend. But it's hundreds of ships. Some are at sail, some are work boats. Everybody's got their boats polished and looking sharp. It really is a great open house day for the city of Norfolk, and that Parade of Sail being on the water just shows everything that our community is made of.
It's so beautiful. Every single year is beautiful, and I have to speak now for the foodies out there who look for the food at Harborfest. So tell us about how cool this is to have so many different types of restaurants, businesses represented at Harborfest.
Well, just like the entertainment and traditional programming, we're bringing all the favorites back. So if you love that one barbecue sandwich, or you had to have your crab cake that you always got at Harborfest, that's still going to be there. But we've added some gluten-free menu items. Some vegan chefs will be there. We're adding some celebrity chefs just to be part of some other promotions. We're adding some celebrity mixologists. We're even going to have some pop-up bar experiences. So if you wanted to try a special drink just at Harborfest and just during this certain window of time, the whole culinary experience will have this new vibe as well.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is going to be something literally for everybody, and it is every single year. But I do have to ask, because you mentioned the drone show, right? Is that going to take the place of the fireworks show, or two separate things?
So Friday night, June 7th at 9:30 is the drone show. Saturday night, the 8th, the traditional fireworks show will also happen at 9:30 above the Elizabeth River. So both Friday and Saturday night, you can come see something great in the sky.
Perfect. All right, let's throw up those details one more time just to remind everyone. Harborfest 2019, lots of new, lots of exciting, and still the traditions that everyone's used to. That's happening June 7th through the 9th at Town Point Park. You can visit festevents.org for more information. Ted, thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
It's going to be another great year.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Coastal Connections. Right now we are talking with someone who is no stranger to 13 News Now. We actually featured her story during our Making a Mark series. So she is here now to talk about her organization, how it all started, and something very special that she would like for you to know about in terms of something she has written. So we want to talk about that now with Shantae Miller, who founded Parents Against Bullying Virginia. Good to see you, Shantae.
Good morning. Good to see you as well.
So this is, before we even dive into the book, into everything that you have going on, for those that aren't familiar with how Parents Against Bullying even got started, tell us your story.
Yes, ma'am. The short version of it, one of my twin girls was brutally attacked by her bully 6 years ago. I can't believe it's been that long, but 6 years ago, she was kicked in the head for a total of 17 minutes by her bully and almost passed away several times in the course of that journey. And after I was able to get my daughter stable, I wanted to make sure that no other parent, no other child, no anyone ever went left alone without knowing something, having the resources to be able to handle it, to be a voice, or if they weren't the voice, I wanted to become that voice and teach others how to become a voice for those that were voiceless.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I mean, that is such a traumatic thing for a mom to go through, a family to go through, but through Parents Against Bullying, once you formed that, you found so many other families that had dealt with something similar, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, every day, especially during school time, and when school's in session, I get calls all the time, emails, crying parents, crying children. So it's definitely, I don't like that it has to be this way, but it is, and we have to tackle it as we go day to day.
Yeah, some great work you're doing in the community, and you have written a book. We do want to talk about this book now. It's called Let's Push. Now, what does PUSH stand for?
PUSH stands for patience, is for P, U is for understanding, S is for stability, to H, handle your business. And I want people to know that you have to have patience, understanding, stability to be able to move forward with anything. But with these things, this not only is for the parents to be patient, to know, be that listening ear, take in what you need to take in and let out whatever you need to let out, be that filter, but you have to be understanding to these children and the stability, hold stability so that you can handle whatever it is that you have to go forth with. And this whole topic of bullying, all of these things, push is just one of those things we have to push forward because we're losing too many of our youth.
Wow. What can people find inside the book in addition to that encouragement and motivation to just keep pushing?
Inside this tiny little book is such powerful steps on what to do, tips on what to look for, what your rights are, how to just take step number one, step number two, resources, laws. It's all kinds of things right here in this little guide. So this Let's Push, the Guide to Combating Bullying, has a lot of information in it, and it's so helpful. And so many people have written me back or sent information back and said, this helped me so much because I had no clue, just for the first 3 steps.
Wow. So it's much more than just, you know, your story and Parents Against Bullying, but it's a one-stop shop for help.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic.
With others that we have connected with as well for resources, meaning if you need some counseling, information's in there. I mean, all types of information is right here. I don't want to tell it all, but it's in here.
Oh, that's awesome. And I believe you have a book signing coming up, is that right?
Yes, we have another book signing coming up, and they can find that information on our website. And we just want you to go to the website, go to online and purchase our book when you can. If you need us, our information will be with you guys. So please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out because we want to be that voice to help you to keep pushing.
It's great. And the price of the book?
The price of the book is $19.99.
Perfect. All right.
Yes, and you can get an ebook as well. So if you are that digital person, you can get it on as an ebook version.
It's fantastic. I think we have about a minute left. Tell us quickly about your radio show that you have.
Push Talk with Shantae Nicole is on Red Ink Radio Live every Monday at 7 p.m. and you can download that app. We're on Apple CarPlay now, Google Play, and you can listen to it in your cars. So please, please, please go and download Red Ink Radio Live and listen to Push Talk Radio with Shantae Nicole every Monday night at 7 p.m.
It's fantastic. I mean, and there's so much more that we don't even have time to get to right now. I wish we could, but you were just so busy making sure that parents and families and children are taken care of right here in our community. There's the information there. Parents Against Bullying. Visit pabva.com or 329-2859. And with Parents Against Bullying, really quickly, anything that you would want from the community in terms of support? Are you looking for donations, volunteers? What are you looking for?
We are in desperate need of donations to continue our program to continue to run, because we do not stop. We go 365 days, not just during the school year. So if you can please send a donation and volunteer, please contact us on the information that was provided for you earlier.
That's awesome. Shantae, wonderful to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Coastal Connections. You know, I love this time of year because it's the time when we get to talk about all of the staple festivals in Hampton Roads. They're all coming up, and there's a big one happening May 31st through June the 2nd. Make sure I get those dates right. It's the Patriotic Festival. It is always such a wonderful time down at the Virginia Beach oceanfront. So joining me now to talk about it is Ira Agricola. Wonderful to see you.
Thank you very much for having us.
15 years for Patriotic Festival.
It really has a long, proud history, and seems like it grows every year.
Yeah.
We get bigger and stronger, and we get a lot of travelers from out of the market, so we're very happy about all of that.
You know, I feel like the name is in some ways kind of self-explanatory, but tell us exactly what happens at Patriotic Festival.
Sure, it's a real celebration of this country and what we stand for. We have the largest American flag we can fly hanging from a crane all weekend. The USO comes alongside and does wonderful events for our wounded warriors, like a surf camp, bicycle ride. They jump out of perfectly good airplanes.
Wow.
And really have a ball down there. So it's all about that. We provide tickets to our military and their families for the concerts. So it's a spirit of the community coming together to celebrate, you know, who we are as a country.
Wow. Now, you mentioned concerts. Who are we expecting this year?
Well, we've got some big ones. Old Dominion is Friday night.
Okay.
Luke Combs is Saturday, and Kane Brown is Sunday. And these are multi-nominated award-winning artists, and they are very much attracting people from all over the country to travel to Virginia Beach and be a part of this weekend.
It's going to be fantastic. You know, one of the greatest things I think about Patriotic Festival is all of the branches of the armed forces coming together, working together, and celebrated together. Can you talk about just the vibe and the experience down there during those demonstrations and displays?
It's really nice to see, and you see children climbing up on the different machinery and equipment from the military. We have an LCAC up on the beach that the USO coordinates in a military village, and that gives everyone an experience of what military life is all about. Of course, all the recruiting services from the branches of the service are there, talking about, you know, the opportunity that exists in today's military. It's a lot different than in my youth, but I'm saying now, you know, there's a tremendous opportunity in technology and a lot of other areas, you know, in today's armed services. So we're here to come together as a community, thank the military, thank their families, and really celebrate what this country is all about.
And talk about how valuable events like this are. I mean, quite frankly, not just to our area, around the country, but especially here in Hampton Roads, where, you know, military is so very important here. Just talk about how valuable these festivals are.
I think it's critically valuable, and one reason is, you know, it's 40%, Department of Defense, 40% of our economy in Hampton Roads. And when you stop to consider that, you stop to consider that there's over 100,000 active duty personnel in our market. We really need to step it up and thank these individuals for their service. They have long deployments. They're anywhere in the world there's trouble. They're at the tip of the spear. And we're here to really thank them and celebrate who they are as a military community.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that we've discussed here at 13 News Now is the number of military service members that are transitioning out of the military every year, 11,000 every single year, right. Going from, you know, being in the military to civil service in some way, or just kind of getting out and starting their own businesses, whatever they decide to do. Are there opportunities to just get information about transitioning out of the military at Patriotic Fest?
Well, there will be, and we also have a very robust workforce development program here in Hampton Roads that's headed up by Sean Avery, and they have special programs for those exiting the military. And I think we should be very proud of those things being in place, because it's a seamless transition. You know, when you really think, you step back and think about it, military people are, the men and women in uniform are the very fabric of our community. You know, they're our Little League coaches. They're our teachers in school. They're everything about this community. And there's a lot of spousal employment, and certainly, as you mentioned, transitioning from the military into the private sector.
Absolutely. Truly a celebration of our heroes right here in Hampton Roads. Patriotic Fest, May 31st to June 2nd at the Virginia Beach oceanfront. You see the entertainment lineup there. You can visit patrioticfestival.com for more information. Ira, thank you so much. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Coastal Connections. You know, if you are familiar with Hampton Roads, you know that the weather can be very unpredictable, and that becomes a serious problem when we're talking about flooding. It can happen at any time of the year, not just hurricane season. So joining me now to talk about how you can get ahead of that, make sure your home is safe, make sure your area is safe, we have Ben McFarland with the Hampton Roads Planning District Commission and Meg Pittinger with the City of Portsmouth. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
It's an important topic and one that I think we all have to make sure we're 2 steps ahead of at any time, because as you guys mentioned during the commercial break, flooding can happen anytime in our region. So there's a new website called getfloodfluent.org. Can you all tell us about this website?
Sure. GetFloodFluent.org is part of an outreach campaign that the Hampton Roads Planning District Commission and our member localities have put together to help educate people in Hampton Roads about the risk of flooding and how flood insurance is a way that they can help to mitigate those risks for themselves and their families and their property.
And flood insurance is one of those things where I feel like you talk about it when you sign your lease, or when you're just moving in or moving out, but you need to be talking about it all the time. Is that right?
That's right, because you can't wait until there's a storm coming. It's too late. There's typically a 30-day waiting period, and so we want people to know that the time to act is now.
Yeah. What have you all noticed in the community that made you say, we need a website, a one-stop shop for people to get all of their flood insurance information? Did you find that people in general were kind of lacking that information?
I think what we've seen over the last couple of years is that there have been a number of storm events that have come through that have affected areas that are outside of the mapped floodplains. And we thought it'd be a good idea to help educate people about why flood insurance is something that they need to be thinking about, because even if they're outside of a mapped floodplain, they're still at risk.
Absolutely. Is the website just limited to flood insurance information, or are there other things that people can find there?
So it's got information about the risk of flooding in Hampton Roads. It's got a lot of information about why you might actually need flood insurance. We have an interactive challenge that you can go and take and test your knowledge, your fluency on flooding in Hampton Roads, and also some pointers on what you can do to go about getting flood insurance, whether that's calling your agent for your property insurance, your homeowner's insurance already, or calling the NFIP or the National Flood Insurance Program's helpline.
Awesome. Now, when it comes to flooding, and we've covered it several times here at 13 News Now, there are certain areas that tend to be hit sometimes more than others, but are there some facts in general just about the area that might surprise people when it comes to flooding?
What I tell people every day in my role with the city is that everywhere it can rain, it can flood, right? So if you're in an area where it can rain, which is, I'm thinking everywhere, then you're in an area that it can flood. But it doesn't even have to be raining. We've seen storm surges, you see high tides with full moons, and just recently lots of people, have seen flooding with high winds. No storm, no rain, just wind. So anywhere in this area, we're surrounded by water. It can flood.
That's absolutely right. And let's talk about the consequences sometimes of that flooding, because damage to homes and businesses can be substantial when it comes to flooding. How much can people really try to gather prior to a flooding event to know this could happen to my home, my business, and I could be out a lot of money trying to repair?
Well, so 1 inch of water in your home can cost up to $25,000. So it's a big hit, and the issue and why we want to encourage people to get flood insurance is because that's the best way to protect your property and your family. If you are counting on government assistance after an event, you're barking up the wrong tree. At most, you're going to be able to qualify for a small grant that'll cover immediate living expenses if you have to evacuate out of your house, and you might be able to get a loan to help you rebuild, but you won't get the same level of coverage that flood insurance would provide you.
Okay. And we were talking about flood zones a little bit earlier. Obviously, the closer you are to the water, the more prone that area might be to flooding. But let's say I'm somewhere in the middle and I don't think flooding is going to happen to me. What do you say to those people who might not be necessarily close to the water and think I don't need flood insurance? What do you say to them?
Hear that every day. And so you don't have to be in a quote unquote mapped area to be at risk. Over 20% of the flood claims through the NFIP come from areas that are outside the map flood zones.
Wow.
And in any given event, it can be, I always tell people the water doesn't know where the line is, right? It's a line on a map, and the water doesn't know that, so any number of environmental factors can make it flood more than what the maps show.
Truly something for everybody. If you own a home, live in a home, quite frankly, have a business, you need to have this information. And again, we're going to pull that up for you. It's with the National Flood Insurance Program, 800-427-4611. You can visit getfloodfluent.org and contact the Help Center there for a referral as well. Thank you very much to Ben and Meg. We appreciate you. Some really important information, especially for our area, for sure. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sticking with us with Coastal Connections. Really excited to talk about this topic. It's very, very important. We're going to have some fun with it, but it's also vital for you to know the information that we're about to give you here. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but there are things you need to know all year long, every single day, to get a little bit closer to the eradication, quite frankly, of breast cancer, but also to just protect yourself and those that you love. So joining me now from Chesapeake Regional Health Foundation, we have Meg Schrader. You're a registered nurse, a breast health navigator. You're wearing the Brahaha shirt.
There we go.
We all know and love Brahaha. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but that's in October. A lot happens in October, but there are things we all need to know, again, every day, to protect ourselves and to know what to talk to our doctor about too.
Absolutely, and one of the things we really want to talk about is that we offer mammograms all year round. So the Funds from Brahaha, it's our seriously uplifting event,
yes,
where we have the fabulous bra makers that make those amazing creations and different events that raise money so that we can provide mammograms to either underinsured, uninsured, or other people in the Hampton Roads area, because we want to talk about it all year round. It's not just about October, it's about every single day. And women call and need mammograms every day.
Yeah, that's right. You know, and talking about Brahaha, I have to just say my experience being there for, quite frankly, several years, just talk about the range of emotions there, because it is a lot of fun. Everyone has a good time, but there are just as many tears, I feel like, that happen there too.
There are. It's really amazing. What we do is we celebrate the bra makers. We celebrate those women that have, you know, fought their fight and won, but we also celebrate the women that have lost their battle. And there is, you know, there are some tears. We now have our models for the bras, our breast cancer survivors, which brings a whole nother element to it. And we have women that, you know, have battled successfully. We have women that are still battling and will be battling till they take their last breath. So we have a lot of fun, but we also, you know the realities of the situation, and that's why getting mammograms is so important, because, you know, with a mammogram, the earlier you can find it, the earlier we detect it, the more treatment options we have, and frankly, sometimes the less treatment we have to do.
Absolutely.
So that's why they're so important.
It's really, you know, just extremely sensitive conversation too, because I feel like in 2019, you know someone who's been impacted by this disease in some way. My own mother, she was recently diagnosed for the 4th time with breast cancer, and this was even after a double mastectomy. It was actually found in her lymph nodes. And so the value of knowing your body and knowing when to talk to your doctor, just talk about that, and self-breast examinations, how important that is.
You know, I always tell women every day that you need to know the landscape of your breasts. You know, everyone has lumpy, bumpy breasts. You need to know your lumps and your bumps. And it's amazing how many women that do have a lot of, you know, lumps and bumps in their breasts that'll come in and say, this one felt different. And a lot of times it is a breast cancer. Sometimes it's not, but a lot of times it is. You know, and it's a family disease. It's not just about the person, but about everyone else. It's about mothers and grandmothers and sisters and brothers and fathers. It's, you know, it's about everybody. So it's very important. You know, there's been a lot of discussion about the new guidelines. When do you start? When do you not? You know, we used to say start at 40. Some organizations are saying start at 50. But as you say, it's very important to have that conversation with your healthcare provider about when to start based on your risk and your family's history.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about that, family history being a big thing with breast cancer, because there's actually genetic testing that you can do as well, just to find out if you're more at risk versus not. Can you talk about that?
We actually have a genetic testing program where we're identifying women that are at high risk because of their family history, not only on your mom's side, but on your dad's side as well, and a couple of generations out. And we found quite a few women that have the genetic mutation and are choosing to have prophylactic bilateral mastectomies because they don't want to take that breast cancer journey that their family members may have taken.
Absolutely. There are so many events happening in Chesapeake, not just Brahaha, but there are just great ways to be able to keep up with everything you all are doing. So what are the best ways?
Brahaha.org is our website, so that guides you to the foundation. So if you would like to volunteer, if you would like to donate, we have a 5K, which is amazing. We had 600 runners last year, and it was our 2nd year. We have obviously the awards and auction show in October, which is always a lot of fun, and then, you know, a lot of different events. So Brahaha.org is the way to go.
That's awesome. We have about 30 seconds left. Just talk to people who might feel a little bit of fear about talking to their doctor about their risks or about something that they may have found. What do you say to those people?
You know, the biggest thing is you just need to have that discussion. early detection is our best protection. And we do see women that are like, I found this, I didn't do anything about it. And then, the discussion that we have is different with them and they feel guilty about it. So it's always better to go and have it checked out. It may be nothing, but get it checked out.